there, thanks so much for joining us for today's Drawing for Kids video brought to you by the Ann Arbor District Library and the Ann Arbor Art Center. Today we are going to be drawing these really cool elaborate tigers. We are going to be using paint first, so grab some acrylic or watercolor paint, and what we're going to do is you are just going to paint your paper kind of solid, or not really solid, but just cover it completely with lots of greens, yellows, and blues. So you might have to do this on about 2 or 1.5 sheets of paper, and then have another piece that you do it where it's about halfway, where it's like pinks and stuff. We're going to use this for plants and also for like leafy plants and then some flowers. Now, this is a multi-step process, so once that's completely dry, you can then go back with your pencil and you can draw shapes of leaves. So you can take a look outside if there's some leaves on the ground that you can look at, or you could look at a book or just make them up, of course, on your own. And then you're just gonna draw those out. Now this is a little challenging to show you digitally, but the idea is that we're gonna basically draw these flowers and leaves and grasses, and then you're gonna cut them out. So this is me trying to pretend like I'm cutting right now, but for you, you're just gonna use your actual pair of scissors and you're gonna cut out your little grass shapes that you've made that are kind of like elongated triangles rather, and then some flower shapes and then your leaf shapes. So basically we've painted our paper with acrylic or watercolor paint, let that dry, then drawn on top of it outlines of leaves and flowers. Then you're going to take your pair of scissors and you're simply going to cut those out. So what you're going to be left with by the end of it is a bunch of little leaf shapes. And now if you don't have acrylic or watercolor paint, you can also just use colored construction paper. If you've got green construction paper, some yellow construction paper, some pink or red for the flowers, you could also do that. You definitely do not have to take the time to paint it if you don't have paints or if you want to do something a little bit quicker. So regardless, you're just going to outline the leaf and flower shapes and then cut them out so that you have a good amount of them. So this is like 1 full sheet's worth, and then that half sheet of half grass and then half flowers. Okay, then from here we are going to, like I said, here we've got all of our shapes kind of cut out and trimmed, and then we're going to actually paint or draw rather the tiger. So the tiger is going to be with like softer oil pastels, depending on which kind you have. If you don't have them, you could also do this with crayons or something else of your choice, but that is going to be our next step. So, and then what we're going to do is we will kind of collage. So we'll take some glue. We'll glue all of these little pieces onto the kind of overlapping the tiger so it looks like it's hidden. Now you can see here I am going back in and adding in a few more details of the veins of the leaves and other details. So if you would like to do that, you can do that as well. I'm also adding some details here to the flowers. All right, so let's go ahead. We want to make sure we fill up our whole page here. So you can see here how I'm kind of showing you real quick how it'll look and what not to do there by that little teeny tiny one. So here you can see this is going to be the shape of the tiger's head and the ears. So go ahead and get that part done, and then we'll move on to the facial features. So you can see my little dot about halfway on that head shape. And so you can see there below where I'm putting the nose and the mouth and the whiskers. Okay, so you can kind of look at this top half almost creates a circle, right? And then like I wrote there that the bottom half or bottom section there will be mostly white, whereas the top part will be mostly orange. Okay, now you can create whatever kind of design you want with the eyes. You can be really creative. You can look at a picture of a tiger and be more realistic. This one's kind of cartoony. And then the paws, you can see I've got kind of like half circles and then for the shape of the paws, and then lots of little half circles for those toes, okay? And then of course those triangles for the stripes. So I'm building in with my pastels now, my stripes. I'm looking at a tiger just so that I have an example of what to look at, or what it would look like, so that I'm putting the stripes in the most accurate places and sizes and shapes and all of that. Now you don't have to if you want to just draw some fun little lines or squiggles. Of course, that is just fine as well. But you can also just follow along with me and do your best to follow the same marks that I'm making. But again, every person is a unique artist, and so if yours looks a little bit different than mine, that is okay. That's what makes it fantastic. So don't think that it has to look exactly like mine. It does not. It is okay. Yours is going to look like yours, and mine is going to look like mine. So now I'm going to go ahead and start using my orange pastel as well to kind of blend in the black fur, so you can see how I'm kind of smudging a little bit so that it looks like fur. So if I kind of smudge it, it'll get kind of furry looking with like lots of little each individual strand of fur. Now I don't have to necessarily blend it all if you don't want to. You can also just color it in, and if you're using something like crayons or markers, they're not going to blend like pastels will, and that's okay. So once you have everything colored in, and again, just follow along with me or look at a picture, what we're going to then do is combine all of our pieces. So we have our tiger, and we have our flowers and our plants, our little leaves, and you're going to arrange them on a colored construction paper. So I'm gluing some down here in the background behind, this is gonna get a little confusing, behind the tiger. Then I'm gluing my tiger down, okay? And then I can add more leaves kind of on top of that. So I've arranged them in the locations that I like, and then once you have that, you can go ahead and glue them down, and so that way it kind of looks like a tiger that is coming out of the jungle, that's ready to pounce or whatever. Maybe he's just saying hi. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Hopefully this isn't too confusing. I know it's very complex, but I hope you had a great time.